Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Port Huenemy's regular council meeting, today, December 15th. I'm going to call this meeting to order. The time is now 6:30, and we'll move to the flag salute. Councilmember Perez will be leading us.
Please join me for the flag salute. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move on to roll call. Madam Clerk, please.
Councilmember Gama,
Here.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Here.
Councilmember Perez,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lopez,
Here.
and Mayor McQueen LaJean.
Here. Next, we'll have our inspiration by our Mayor Pro Tem Lopez.
All right. Welcome, community. So I'm going to give the inspiration, and since we are in our holiday season, I thought it was fitting to kind of talk about my inspiration, what I personally saw, beginning with our tree lighting. So our Parks and Rec team led the way with passion and heart, serving as the backbone of every event. What truly moved me, however, was seeing how they were supported. City staff from across departments stepping in with the all hands on deck, spirit generously offering their time, energy, and care without hesitation. That shared commitment to serving our community is a powerful reminder of what dedication truly looks like in our city. Our holiday celebrations kicked off with an annual tree lighting ceremony, and the coordination was truthfully seamless. From the joyful holiday caroling, the Santa writing, the warm hot chocolate, and which was provided by our local Anna Cappuccino, the evening created a welcoming and festive atmosphere for all who attended. This was followed by a sold-out Pancakes with Santa. I know that because I was late getting my tickets. But from the joyful holiday caroling, what was truly magical was just the seeing how excited the children were and the spirit of community that we provided, our city staff, our council. So all, truly all hands on deck for that event. We concluded that with the 32nd annual senior luncheon, which was a tremendous success, seeing our seniors smiling as they enjoyed the beautiful decor, delicious food, wonderful entertainment, and the perfect capstone to our holiday season. Hearing our residents speak at these events truly warmed my heart time and time again. They shared how much love that was inclusive, caring, brought community to the spirit. And because of our hard work, once again, we prove that we are the friendliest city by the sea. Thank you to everyone who played a role in making these community events so special. I like to extend my to staff, Parks and Rec. You guys killed it as always. But not only that, we also saw Oxnard Harbor District, our county supervisor and staff. So we really appreciate everyone lending a hand, and our city council. It was an awesome, truly event, holiday season. So appreciate the holiday spirit that we provided to our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We're now going to move to public comments. These are going to be comments not pertaining to the agenda items. Each comment will be 3 minutes. Madam Clerk, do we have any comments?
We do have public comments, and these will also be for general public comments and the presentations. First, we have Luis Mendez.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, staff, and residents. I'm here to recommend 2 council members to be nominated to fill the mayor and mayor pro temp roles for 2026. We need people to lead the city council and represent the residents. Over the past couple of years, I've seen council members put party agenda over people. The council seats are nonpartisan. Regardless of your party affiliation, you're still supposed to represent the best interest of the city. I've seen people come into council and ask for ordinances to be implemented that are not necessary. I've seen people from neighboring cities come to Port Hueneme and ask you guys to adopt policies just because other cities are doing it. And I've even seen council members' personal issues come up at council meetings. These things are a waste of time and city resources. We need a mayor and mayor pro tem that have experience, that can say no to things. We need them to stand up for what's right for the city. We also need them to support each other when dealing with other agencies. I have seen 2 members of council say no, change their stance on issues because they're presented with facts and make their decisions based on logic. I strongly recommend the council to nominate Martha McQueen-Lejean and Misty Perez to fill those positions for the city of Port Hueneme for 2026. Thank you.
Thank you.
Janice Burke.
Happy holidays, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, and my neighbors. I'm Jan Burke, resident, 33 years here at Anakepa View Beach Homes, and HOA board member from and chair of the Hueneme HOA Coalition. I too am here tonight to talk a little bit about the reorganizational meeting. And I too am here to advocate for Mayor McQueen-Lejean and encourage our council to support her continued leadership as mayor for our city and continue the success that we've had and have some continuity. Mayor McQueen-Lejean has shown a strong and focused commitment to effective governance, fiscal responsibility, and city-centered decision-making. She has approached complex issues thoughtfully and collaboratively, earning the respect of residents, city staff, and regional partners. Mayor Lejean is focused on long-term outcomes that strengthen our city as a whole. She has strived to work collaboratively with other agencies in an effort to create working relationships that provide fair, equitable, and successful outcomes, and I thank you for that. Most notably, Mayor Lejean is leading an important effort right now with the city to reorganize and re-engage with the Port of Hueneme, to revise a fair and more equitable working relationship that helps provide greater success for the city and greater success for the port. It is critical to our city that we maintain consistent and strong leadership to help navigate this effort for a better future. The port plays a vital role for our regional economy. However, the city also plays a vital role for the port, and the mayor's advocacy ensures that the city and its residents receive appropriate consideration while firmly representing the city's interest and reflecting her sound leadership. Mayor Lejean understands the economic growth must be balanced with accountability, community interest, and fairness. Her work with the port demonstrates forward-thinking approach to governance that prioritizes equitable sustainability and shared prosperity. As a charter city, I strongly, for these reasons, let me back up. For these reasons, I wholeheartedly support Mayor Lejean and hope that the council will support her in continuing her leadership role as mayor. She has done an excellent job serving our city, and I am confident that her continued leadership will further strengthen our community and ensure the city of Hueneme achieves success.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate your service, and Merry Christmas to you all, and on this wonderful holiday season. Thank you.
Ronald Arroyo. Laura Barroso, you'll be after.
Good evening, Mayor McQueen-Lejean, Mayor Pro Tem Jess Lopez, and council members. My name is Ronald Arroyo, and my comments will be for both items B and C regarding honoring and recognizing Mayor McQueen-Lejean and Mayor Pro Tem Lopez. While I am a resident of Oxnard, I am an employee of Point Mugu, and I find extreme pride that the mayor was a former and the Mayor Pro Tem is a current employee. I believe that it is such a benefit to have federal employees who understand their local impact of their jobs and local officials who are able to leverage that knowledge of the federal government to make positive change with their city. As a federal government employee, I observe that it is sometimes difficult for my colleagues to see the positives of staying engaged with their local community because it is just government to them. To the extent that I am able to, I encourage them to get more involved with where they live because our local community is where you can grow more in depth and provide a perspective on why the federal government is a benefit to the region, a win-win in my opinion. Both the mayor and the mayor pro tem, through their employment and their service on the city council, have demonstrated that their commitment to public service knows no bounds. I believe that they have enhanced skills in budgeting and fiscal oversight, negotiation and consensus building, and public speaking and stakeholder engagement. Especially with the mayor pro tem, with his current employed status, it is quite a Rubik's Cube of time management and priorities to interlace his responsibilities with both the federal and local governments, and he has been quite effective in serving each well, from what I have heard. As someone quite involved with my own city of Oxnard, it is a wonder how he's able to handle both as city council member and as employed with Point Mugu. I have not worked with nor personally know either the mayor or the mayor pro tem, but what I can say is that the knowledge, experience, and the challenges that they had or currently do at Point Mugu will set Port Hueneme up for only good things. Thank you both for your service as mayor and mayor pro tem.
Thank you.
Laura?
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council and staff. My name is Laura Barroso, and I'm speaking tonight as a citizen and a lifelong Ventura County resident. For most of my life, I can honestly say that I never fully experienced the heart of the city in the way that I have recently. And that changed because of the leadership and encouragement of our current Mayor Pro Tem, Jess Lopez. I have seen Mayor Pro Tem Lopez at numerous community events this past year. He has made his elected role a true priority, not just in title, but in presence. He shows up, he listens, he engages, and he makes people feel that this city is worth investing in and exploring. When I met him earlier this year, the beauty of this city stayed with me because of the way he spoke about it. His pride, his hope, his genuine encouragement to spend more time in the city of Port Hueneme. Because of that, I have attended a variety of community events, something I had never done. And for the first time, I truly felt the heart of this community. I saw pride, I saw connection, and I saw a city that genuinely cares about its people. I've also had the opportunity to watch several of your board meetings, and what stands out most is that Mayor Pro Tem Lopez does not simply hold an elected title. He does the work. He puts in the time. He listens with intention, and he leads by example. His commitment to the city is real. It shows in his actions, in his words, and in the way he consistently serves the community. For those reasons, I wholeheartedly support Jess Lopez as the next mayor, and I sincerely hope that you will do the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sonia Akintan? Sorry.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and community friends. I am Sonia Akintande. I'm the incoming president for Alpha Kappa Alpha's chapter, Xi Kappa Omega, and I have a letter of appreciation for our mayor. On behalf of the members of Xi Kappa Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, I extend our sincere appreciation and gratitude for your dedicated service and Mayor 2025. Throughout your term, you've demonstrated steadfast commitment to public service, principled leadership, and a deep respect for the citizens you serve. Your efforts and contributions have had a lasting and meaningful impact on your community and my community as well. Your tenure was marked by professionalism and a willingness to place public interests above all else. We are grateful for your time, your energy, and expertise you devoted to advancing the mission and responsibilities of your office. As you conclude this term and hopefully another term, please accept our warmest thanks and best wishes for continued success in all future endeavors. Your legacy of service will be remembered with respect and appreciation. With sincere appreciation and gratitude, members of Xi Kappa Omega Chapter, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Sonia Akintande, incoming president.
Thank you.
Bobby Martinez.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor Martha McQueen Lejean, Mayor Pro Tem Lopez, City Council, city staff, and members of the public. I'm not here to tell you who to choose for the mayor or Mayor Pro Tem. I think it's a difficult choice nonetheless, and I'm pretty sure most of you are a little nervous with excitement too, and just, maybe you might be the one that gets chosen. But, and whoever gets picked, I think you guys are all gonna do a great job. You guys are gonna select the right people. But I do wanna tell you guys that the Sister Cities had its first ever cultural exchange program with the city of Puerto Vallarta. We had 8 students participate, and all 8 students are gonna get scholarships. They've already started turning in their essays, and I think it's been a great success. We're gonna have more fundraisers. Right now we have a bento box fundraiser for $25. That's what tickets cost, and there's a good amount of food in each of the boxes. You get your chicken, your sushi, your vegetables, your rice, and hopefully we get to do another fundraiser too later on this year. But it's super successful. The kids loved it. It was a wonderful experience. I think it was a little bit of a culture shock for some of our students to get to see what some of the students in Mexico had to go through, waking up really early, helping out their parents. Not that our kids don't. But yeah, I just want to say hi. It's been a while. I know I've been a little disconnected, but I'm pretty busy nonetheless with Reach and the sister cities. And if you didn't know, I'm now teaching at Hueneme High School, so I moved over here. So trying to get a little closer to the city where I was making positive change. But yeah, just relax. Make good choices. I know it's not easy. I was getting flashbacks of like what it was like when I was sitting there getting so nervous. Am I gonna get selected? Am I gonna get picked? Regardless, you all have a vote, and it's a council of 5 people, and it's a team, So just continue to work well together, and if you guys ever need any help, we have a big group of community members that are here backing you up. So just know you're not doing this alone. We're all in it together. Okay. All right. Well, just want to say thanks and keep it up. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
That concludes public comment.
Great, thank you. So we're going to move on to the agenda approval. May I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
I move the approval of the agenda.
Second.
Got it?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you. Do any members of the council have any conflict of interest on any of the agenda items listed? No? All right. So we're going to move on to presentation A. I'd like to welcome Chief Frederico to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight's presentation for you is introducing the council to your new police canine, Gator, and his chosen handler. Yeah, this is a fun night to be here. It's all therapy and puppy love. And his chosen handler, Officer Joe Tubbs. If you thought Giorgio was a love bug, this guy right here, oh my goodness, he is. Gator is, as you know, Giorgio is trained for explosives and firearms and fireworks. Gator's been trained for narcotics detection. And the built-in love and therapy just comes with the fact that you get a non-apprehension dog. I know you're searching this podium already. He's searching. You see, he's like, what's going on in there? So, we brought him aboard a few months ago with the approval of council on the donations. This dog was brought to us by this community. This came from an incredible effort by REACH, our REACH Wainimi organization, with incredible momentum from our HOA coalition in this town. The leadership of the HOA coalition was was a huge push behind getting the word out and getting the funding, and many of them reached deep into their pockets and donated. And some of the people in this town didn't just donate hundreds, they donated some of them over $1,000 to see this happen. The VFW donated a significant amount of money. Channel Island Yacht Club family raised an incredible amount of money together as a family. And John and Tammy Osborne and the Osborne Family Foundation. I would also like to say that the family that we coordinate our canine program through is the Inglis Police Academy Foundation. The Inglis family's been in law enforcement in this county for many years. They have a deep-seated history of producing quality police canines, getting us the right dog breeds, picking out the ones that work the best. This little guy was significant because they got him like a year ago, and they knew we were interested in a dog. And when we knew it was going to be a tough budget year, we told them it's going to be a while because we have to figure out how we're going to do this. And the community stepped up. But in all that time, they were holding on to this little guy. He was already off the charts on his searching momentum. They were sending us videos. And yes, there were other agencies that wanted him, but the Inglis's said, we're holding him for Wainimi, we're giving him a shot to raise this money. Again, this community stepped up. So they held on to him for the longest time until we got him. And then they went to training last month, in October. They hit the streets last month. He's had a couple of catches already, minor quantities, but we look forward to what he's going to produce over this next year for us and what he's going to get off the streets. He's 2 years now? Turned 2 December 12th. His birthday, December 12th. So he turned 2. He is a lab, and he comes from a breed that we know from Arkansas, actually. And they, the family that was handling that breed of dog are actually former Ventura County law enforcement down there. So it was really good. So we knew where the dog was coming from, and we knew it was a quality catch. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gator and Officer Joe Tubbs.
Nice. Great.
And one more shout out for all those that sponsor. Not only do the Englishes give us a great deal and work with us, but reminder that Lucy's Pet Food has sponsored the food for both dogs. Lucy's Pet Food is great. It's a quality, and they do a special canine breed. And then our own Wainimi Veterinarian Center handles the medical free for both dogs. Talk about a community coming together for public safety, and that's what happens. So we thank you all.
Great. Any comments?
I just have to say, I think Officer Tubbs there, you have a spirit animal. He's as goofy and hyperactive as you are. But congratulations. How is he settling in with the family and the routine and the new baby, or actually not new baby, but the new family?
He loves him.
I bet.
He loves the baby.
Any other comment? Oh, sorry.
I'm just going to ask, how, the temperament-wise, personality, everything, how is he different? If you could give us a little difference between him and Giorgio.
I would say he's probably a little bit more crazy. So probably that's the crazy. He's just crazier and hyper.
There's a lot of energy.
It is funny when you see him work, he is this way, but then we've gone to trainings and you try to pet him, but when he's in training mode and he's waiting to go search a hotel room for training, and that's another one. The Holiday Inn Express allows us to use vacant rooms too to search it, which is awesome for them to do that. But you'll go to one of the trainings and you'll try to play with him like this, but when he knows he's about to go into search mode, he's all business. You'll touch him and he'll be like, what? Get away. And then he just stays nose focused in the room waiting to get the command to go search. So he's disciplined.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the size. It's a very manageable size, and I speak from experience because my dog is just over a year old, and he's like 80 pounds, and he knows I'm injured, and he likes to pull me around. So this Gator looks great. He's a perfect size.
His size gives him an advantage for searching everything from cabinets to vehicles to RVs to ships when we need them on boats. His size allows him to get into small places.
Yeah, that's nice. Dogs are good.
No, just thank you for a great presentation, and nice to meet him in person, and look forward to all the good work he's going to do. Thank you.
So, seeing that he's a little rambunctious, does he ever calm down? Not really. It's just all business, all playing. But congratulations. I'm glad that you bonded with the dog, and the city really, we're going to benefit from this, so appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll just say the same thing. We're so excited that he's here with us, and I've had a chance to meet him a couple of times before, but thank you for taking him on, and for the police department chief, and thanks for Reach for the fundraising and being able to bring him to us, so we appreciate that so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Great. And so now for the presentation B and C, I'm going to turn it over to the city manager, Mr. Vega. Over to you.
Thank you, yes, and it's always a privilege for me to be able to help with honoring and recognizing the mayor and mayor pro tem for all the hard work over the last year. And so I'm going to note quickly the process that we'll go through today. I'm going to begin with some brief remarks and presenting a token of appreciation for the outgoing mayor and mayor pro tem. The honorees will then have an opportunity to share a few words, as well as the council. And then after that, we will invite any dignitaries who wish to offer remarks in recognition of the mayor and or the mayor pro tem, one or both at that time. And then we'll conclude with photo opportunities with family members, dignitaries, council members, etc. And so that's why on the agenda we had a 10-minute recess recommended for the council so that we could allow everybody the opportunity to get photos as desired. So with that, I would like to begin by recognizing Mayor Martha McQueen-Lejeune, who was first elected as council member in 2022 and has served as mayor from almost 1 year to the day, from December 16th, 2024 through December 15th, 2025. And so Mayor McQueen-Lejeune has led our community with dedication and distinction, demonstrating vision, integrity, and a deep commitment to our residents. And it's always my privilege, as a token of our appreciation, I get to present the gifts. So we are proud to present the mayor with our very limited, only mayors get these, with our gavel plaque, a tribute to the mayor's leadership and meaningful impact she has made during her time on the dais. And so on behalf of the city council, city staff, and community, I would like to present this plaque and thank you for your extraordinary leadership and dedication.
Thank you.
And I'll continue with the Mayor Pro Tem, and then we'll ask each of you, we'll give each of you an opportunity to say some words. I'd like to recognize, oh, I'm sorry, I actually did that out of order. Mayor, would you like to say a few words at this time?
Sure, yeah. Just glad to be here tonight, glad to be on the dais with my other council members who is really responsible for everything that we've done this year. We're a body, and no one person does it alone. And so one of the things that I do appreciate a lot of them, but one of the things that I do appreciate that we've been able to have conversations about things, right? Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easy, but have a conversation and use the data to make good decisions. So I really, really thank you all for being able to support me during this last year. So I appreciate you. When I get an opportunity to meet you, if I haven't met you one-on-one and I haven't been able to tell you the story, how I got here 3 years ago, I'd like to share that with you. Someone who had just retired and planned to go back and work in the private industry, and I had an experience at an event called Sleep Out the Homeless. It was 1 week before the registration or application process closed. And within 1 week, I decided to run for city council. And within, I think, 5 days, I'd start getting messages, and I was like, okay, does this mean I'm in or does it mean I'm not? But service is kind of what I do. It might not look like service looks to you, but what I do is service, and it's in my heart. So I'm always available to help in any way that I can. And I will just say this, you know, when service is in you, there's nothing that can stop you from doing it. And so I just appreciate the opportunity to be able to be here and to support the city of Port Hueneme. Worked for the government, was in the government, worked there 33 years. And when I came here to the city, I looked at it like a continuation of my public service. And so I'm just so glad to be able to serve today for the city of Port Hueneme. So thank you.
Did the council want to say any words at this time, or?
Yes, I guess we could start over here. So I just want to thank Mayor for your strong leadership this year. You were important in very particular areas where we needed advocate for our city and for our community, and you always make decisions based on logic and facts, and I appreciate that about you. And sometimes you think you're going to go one way, but you hear a new piece of information that changes your mind, and you decide based on that alone. And that I appreciate most about you, because I know that you're really thinking about what you want to do, what you're wanting to support, and I know you're putting your whole heart into making decisions. And it has nothing to do with your own personal feelings or any political affiliation. I know that you make decisions based on what is the best for our community, and that is what I appreciate most about you. So thank you for your service.
I echo those sentiments, but I do want to focus a little bit on your sorority. And I know that your sorority, one of your sorority's top priorities is the environment. And I know that your sorority and you have come out and spent time with us at Hueneme Beach Cleanup just about every year, and it's a great time. And I remember you were with me when the old pelican got stuck in the fence incident. And it was a long, hard release of that creature, but we saved him, and we got him to the animal rescue. And so to your sorority sisters, thank you for coming. Appreciate seeing you on Hueneme Beach. And to you, I appreciate your leadership, and I love working with you, and I think you're a fabulous person.
Thank you, Mayor, for your service this year as mayor. It's been a joy and a pleasure and an honor working with you. We've served together on various committees. We got to go to DC together, and I think working with you has been educational for me. We have honest discussions, which I appreciate, and we don't always agree. We carry very much carry the same values, and are here for the same reasons. And I appreciate your honesty and your support throughout this last year. I think in the process we've become friends, and I just appreciate your dedication to the city, which you've always put first. So thank you very much.
Well, Mayor, it's been truly an honor. I've been here a year, and I'm very grateful that my 1 year I got to really learn a lot from you. We share a lot of similarities. We both served in federal service. We went to the same college. We were tutored by the same instructors. We got the same MLSM degree. You have your doctorates. I stopped at my master's. But it's been a pleasure to see you implement and really take on that leadership role using those skill sets that you have. So it's been impressive to see your strong leadership. You're a great communicator, and know that I was always here to back you up when we needed a substitute. So I hope I provided good service to you, and thank you for the tutelage. So I really appreciate you.
So next we'll recognize Mayor Pro Tem Jess Lopez, and then after that point we'll invite dignitaries and others to offer their remarks. We have several people attending this meeting to give remarks, but I'd like to recognize Mayor Pro Tem Jess Lopez, who was first elected as a council member in 2024 and has served as Mayor Pro Tem from December 16th, 2024 through December 15th, 2025. Mayor Pro Tem Lopez has demonstrated steadfast leadership, collaboration, and a commitment to supporting both the mayor and the council in serving our community. And as a token of our appreciation, we are proud to present a just as limited, we only do one of each every year, a commemorative clock, which we've historically given as a symbol of the time, dedication, and leadership that the Mayor Pro Tem invests in our community and over that year. So with that, we want to thank you for your dedication and service to the city and present you with our commemorative clock.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah,
Mayor-
I'll
Mayor Pro Tem?
say a couple things. I didn't prepare anything, but I'll just kind of speak from the heart. My journey started different. I've been a servant my whole life. When I was 17, I enlisted into the U.S. Navy. My mom had to sign my release, and as soon as I turned 18, I was gone. Went to Desert Storm, and I went to every combat zone since Desert Storm, and served in many different countries, been in different duty stations across the United States. So that service, I got a lot of leadership out of that service. And when I retired in 2013, after 26 years, I returned back home. And I was already serving here in 2010, got back to Ventura County and made Hueneme home. I did have a rental house here, so I moved in. And just like any good servant, you start looking for things to do around the city. How can I give back to the community that they provided so much for me while I was growing up? And my journey started with water cooler talk at work. We would talk things that are going around the city. I'd bring all the problems within the city from my neighbors, and we would discuss. And then you finally become an activist. You're a voice. So for people who don't know, I still work for the Navy as a civil servant. So retired, continue working as a civil servant. And when I decided to run, it's one of those things you put your name in the hat, but you run with your passion, but you never know who's going to win that race. And when you win, here you are, and I'm here right now. You mess around and you find out, right? But the true thing is the reason why I do these things is because I do care about my community. I do care about our youth. I do care about what's going on around in our city, and I am an activist. I do care about the community. So if you see me asking 1,000 questions, or our city manager gets tons of emails from me asking why this or why that, it's because I care. I'm hearing it from the community. I'm asking the tough questions, and usually I'm like laser focused. I'm studied. I'm prepared, and so I really appreciate the community that I actually was born in Port Hueneme in Belinda Hospital in 1969. That hospital doesn't exist no more, but that's my claim to fame. I am a lifelong Hueneme person. So thank you. Thank you, council.
And any council members would like to comment?
Yes, the first year is always the hardest. It's the most eye-opening experience, and for the first year, you're like, most of the time you're sitting there like just trying to make it through and figure out how you're supposed to get through this. So I do appreciate your willingness and your dedication to serve the city, and for stepping into that role as Mayor Pro Tem, and for supporting the mayor where she needed you. So I appreciate your dedication, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
Just echo those sentiments, and thank you for stepping forward and being a part of our city council.
Mayor Pro Tem, it's been a pleasure working with you. I wasn't sure how the first year was going to go. but you have, you're a quick learner. You've got analytical thinking ability. You ask all the right questions, and you understand good governance. And that's what I really appreciate about your leadership and your service here on council. So I wish you the best of luck and in your continued efforts here on the city council. Thank you again for your service.
Thank you.
Great, and I'll just say that I appreciate your service, not just on the council, but your service to our country and the service to our government currently, our country as well. And so just really appreciate you, appreciate the fact that you were dropped in the hot water on your, the night that you were sworn in. So just appreciate you kind of taking it with a grain of salt, getting in there and just doing the job. And I think like most of us on our first year, there's probably a lot going on and you're still learning a lot, but that's normal. And as you get to year 3, I'm saying 3 was for me that I felt like I was clear. Everything was clear, but it took some time for me to get there. And so I'm sure you're gonna need a little more time to get there, but you'll get there. Yes. And when you get there, you'll be there forever, and then you'll be able to just move forward. So just appreciate you being able to just come in and just kind of get in the work, get in the seat and do the work. So I appreciate that. And for always, because I'm not always available. And I think any time that I called you to be somewhere where I wasn't able to, you were there. So I really appreciate you for doing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now I have the honor of welcoming the dignitaries who are attending tonight's meeting and wish to share a few words with our mayor and mayor pro tem. But before inviting them forward, I wanted to thank and acknowledge the Ventura City Council, who has provided recognition certificates for the mayor and mayor pro tem in recognition and appreciation of your dedicated service to the community. So I'm going to provide the mayor with her certificate from the city of Ventura.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we have some guests that we'd like to invite to speak. First, we'll begin with Armando Gonzalez on behalf of Congresswoman Julia Brownley's office.
Good evening. My name is Armando Gonzalez, and on behalf of Congresswoman Julia Brownley's office, I would like to recognize Mayor Martha McQueen Lejeune for her dedicated leadership and remarkable advocacy for the city of Port Hueneme and its residents. Congresswoman Brownley has often said it is a greatest privilege to represent the people of California's 26th congressional district, which is fortunate to include the beautiful and vibrant community of Port Hueneme. In strong partnership with all of you, Congresswoman Brownley has worked to move our community forward and do all that she can to improve the lives and livelihoods of everyone who calls Port Hueneme home. As she continues to focus on the issues important to Port Hueneme, the Congresswoman extends her sincere gratitude to Mayor Martha McQueen Lejeune for her steadfast and unwavering commitment to ensuring the well-being of our community. In appreciation of her outstanding public service, I am pleased to present Mayor Martha McQueen Lejeune with the Certificate of Congressional Recognition on behalf of Congresswoman Brownley. Congresswoman Brownley also welcomes the incoming mayor and looks forward to working with the entire city council to continue serving the wonderful people of Port Hueneme. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we will do a photo after we have the each of the speakers. So next is Patty Quiros on behalf of Assemblymember Steve Bennett's office.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. On behalf of Assemblymember Steve Bennett, I want to thank and congratulate Mayor McQueen Lejeune for her service as mayor this past year. Assemblymember Bennett has really admired your work and initiatives for the residents of Port Hueneme during your term as mayor. Like any year, there are the highs and lows, and we thank you for your leadership as you worked with your colleagues on the council, with city staff, with local partners, and local organizations, and with our own community. Thank you for listening to your constituents and your ongoing efforts to respond to the needs of this community and beyond. On behalf of Assemblymember Bennett, congratulations on your accomplishments this past year and your commitment to the residents of Hueneme. And to Mayor Pro Tem Lopez, Thank you for your service this past year. Assemblymember Bennett would like to express his gratitude for your work as pro tem, but also for hitting the ground running on your first year on the council. He commends your leadership and vision for the city, especially for your efforts to acknowledge and work with the communities and the individuals that play a major role in the city, such as your initiative to establish a Veterans Advisory Committee. He wishes you the best of luck in your upcoming role in the council and thanks you for the role you served this year.
Thank you. Next, we have Supervisor Vianney Lopez.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, staff, and residents. It is my pleasure to join you all this evening to recognize the work of Dr. Martha McQueen Lejeune as your mayor for this year and Jess Lopez as your Mayor Pro Tem. And I've had a just great, more than great experience working with both of you, but Dr. McQueen Lejeune, serving on a number of boards with you, I can say that, and glad to hear from the public speakers how proud they are to have you as a council member, as a mayor, and I can attest to that you have represented the city well and above the necessary to ensure that residents have that advocacy, the representation, whether it's on transportation, air quality, and even advocating for the base. I have really enjoyed that time working with you and appreciate just how deep you get into the issues to make sure that you are as informed as possible to make the right decisions for everyone. So really appreciate your leadership and working with you and look forward to what's next. And to Jess Lopez, as your first year on the council, I really commend you for your service. And again, just like Dr. Martha McQueen Lejeune, your willingness to really dig into the issues and appreciate just the conversations that I've had in getting to know you as a council member and as an individual working on behalf of the residents of Port Hueneme, really finding out how things work and how you could carry and deliver for the city. So congratulations to both of you, and I look forward to this coming year working alongside all of you. And with that, happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you. We have one more guest we thank them for coming down all the way from the city of Thousand Oaks, Mayor Pro Tem Bob Engler.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am Bob Engler for City of Thousand Oaks. It's actually pretty easy, just trying to point the guitar downhill. It just rolls all the way down here. It's wonderful. Thank you for allowing me to say a couple of nice words. I was impressed. Everyone on the council talked about service and how service is part of your being and how being a servant to this community is really something that you enjoy and live for. That's something that all of us in city government, I believe, have that same servant's heart. And that's why I'm happy and it's my pleasure to be down here to honor both the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem for the giant work that they've done this last year. The thing that I enjoy the most about being on city council, I think, is working with the different cities in our various committees that we're on. And I've served on different committees with all of you. I'll be honest, the city of Port Hueneme is well served because of the contributions that these folks bring to all these committees. And I appreciate working with you, and I'm happy to present you with these plaques.
Thank you.
So on our agenda, we had proposed a 10-minute recess to allow for photos and with all the different groups. So if with the council's okay, we'd recommend taking that brief pause now.
Yes. We will take a 10-minute break and we'll reconvene. Thank you. We'll reconvene. The time is 7:31. And we're going to move on to item D, nomination of mayor. The next two items are to accept nominations for mayor and mayor pro tem. In order to minimize movement, I kindly ask that we wait to change seats until both selections have been made. I am now going to turn it over to our Madam City Clerk. Please conduct the election of the mayor.
Okay, we are beginning the election for mayor. The floor is now open for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Martha McQueen LeJean for mayor.
I'll second.
Okay. Do you have any comments? Are there any comments?
Can I make another nomination? Do we have to go through this one first?
We'll go through one at a time. So if there are no comments, I will go ahead and take a roll call vote. Councilmember Gama,
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez,
No.
Councilmember Perez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lopez,
No.
and Mayor McQueen LeJean.
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, congratulations, Mayor Martha McQueen LeJean. I will now conduct the election for Mayor Pro Tem. The floor is now open for nominations.
I
nominate Councilmember Hernandez.
I'll second.
Okay, are there any comments?
I'll make a comment. Councilmember Hernandez was passed over twice. She was the highest voter getter in that election cycle, and I believe she deserves to be. She's a skilled council member, very experienced. So I believe she deserves to be mayor pro tem.
Okay, are there any other comments? Okay, I will take a roll call vote. Councilmember Gama,
No.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember Perez,
No.
Councilmember Lopez,
Yes.
and Mayor McQueen LeJean.
Yes.
Motion passes. Congratulations, Mayor Pro Tem Hernandez. Okay, now that the reorganization has concluded, you may change seats.
Stay.
Oh. Like,
It's the weight of the situation.
This belongs to you.
Say I got some haters. They look strategic. Haters. Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so, do we need a break here?
We can take one if the council chooses.
Does the council choose to have a break?
I think so.
Yes. You think so? What
Brief
about you?
recess.
Sure.
Yeah, let's take a brief recess. I'll reconvene the council meeting. The time is 7:39. 7:39. We'll move to the consent calendar. We'll now enact the consent calendar. The consent calendar will be enacted in one motion unless a council member has a request to remove an item. Council, would you like to remove any items from the consent calendar?
I don't want to remove an item, but I do have a question, if that's okay, on disbursements.
Yes, go ahead.
Do I have to remove it, or can I just ask a
Is
question?
it just one question?
One question,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
How many crossing guards do we have citywide?
I don't know
Put you
that
on the spot.
offhand. I don't know the number offhand. We have a partnership with the school district where we each fund a portion of the crossing guard program, but I don't know offhand exactly how many crossing guards that is.
Okay, because I just noticed that our portion was $10,000 for 2 months, and I was like, wow, we must have a lot. Anyways,
Yeah.
maybe we could get a presentation at some point.
Yeah, we can come back with that information. I think it's $120,000 a year split between the two organizations.
Okay.
I would like to pull consent item 4.
For adoption of donation acceptance. Okay. Are there any other items to be pulled?
I also have questions on 4.
Number 4? Okay. So can I have a motion and a second to approve items 1, 2, 3, and 5?
Move to approve items 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Second.
Great, thank you. Madam Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, over to you.
Yeah, so the draft, it doesn't appear to address fundraising consent. It just, it's an afterthought. So for example, if I was fundraising for a veterans monument for the city of Port Hueneme and I used REACH and I raised $200,000, I would just simply apply, submit a attachment B after the fact. And that's my concern, is they were they started fundraising prior to consent, probably using the city of Port Hueneme, like an emblem, or it's an example. That's the little gray area that it doesn't address consent.
I kind of, if I could go? Or you see
Yes, so you have a question? Do you have?
I'll speak to that. So I think if the question is there a rule that the city could pass that could prevent someone from showing up to City Hall and offering a donation to the city? I don't think there is a way to just have that blanket rule, and I don't necessarily think that it's something that the city would actually want to do. I think if somebody showed up at City Hall and they were willing to make a donation, that the city council, what this policy does is it ensures that the city council gets the information on the donation and has the ability to approve or decline the donation. So it doesn't preempt any potential donation opportunity. The way we tried to address that as much as we could is we did say that the donation would be submitted to the city council as soon as possible at the next available city council meeting if somebody comes forward. But ultimately, can we control if, REACH was mentioned, and I think REACH is the nonprofit in the city. Can we control if REACH starts a fundraiser? We can't control that, but with this process, we can make it clear that the city hasn't approved that fundraiser and the logo shall not be used until they go through this process. So.
Hold on a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Laura had a question.
Okay, I have a similar question about this. Thank you. I have a similar question regarding solicitations of donations. Should an employee or an elected official go out and begin soliciting donations prior to council knowing about it? How do we control that? Especially if it's for something that is a new item that's not budgeted for, that program that is not in existence, and it exceeds $5,000. how do we prevent that from happening?
And that's the exact intent of this form, is that, and this process and this policy, is that that information would come to the council, and the council would have the ability to decline or accept. And some of the questions that were referenced are the exact questions on the form, along the lines of, are there going to be ongoing costs, maintenance costs, replacement costs? Again, it's just that when somebody comes forward and they're interested in a donation, this information gets provided to the council before there's any city acknowledgement or cooperation or partnership on it, and the council has the opportunity to get that information and approve it or decline it at that time.
Okay, very good, thank you. And then one thing that came to mind during the chief's presentation is, do we quantify, what about these donated services from veterinarians and from Lucy's Food? Do we quantify those in any way? Do we have any agreements with those agencies? What if they stop providing that service free of charge to the city? How do we address that?
Yes, so we do have so any donation over $5,000 comes to the city council. Donations of small amounts, like things like bags of dog food, under this policy would not come to council. But we typically have a simple agreement with them, essentially really like waiving liability or anything like that. There is no requirement, when we're accepting a donation, we can't necessarily require that they commit to do it forever. But most of our partners have been very positive that they've approached us and want to donate those items. So we work out the simple sort of agreement and waiver, and then they move forward. And because it's not in the $5,000 above level, it would not have to come to council under this policy.
Okay, but it could eventually exceed $5,000.
Yeah, typically it's on an annual basis.
Okay.
So if they're donating a couple bags of dog food a month, it's not going to reach the $5,000 level on an annual basis.
What about the veterinary services?
Veterinary services potentially could. We haven't had any situations like that, and then we also don't accept any dollars from them. They just provide a service, so we're able to accept that service.
Okay, well, that's kind of what I mean. We need to, do you feel like we need to quantify those services and quantify the donations of dog food at any point?
I don't feel so. I think when you look at what's the underlying purpose for the donation policy is to ensure, and my understanding from the council was to ensure that the city wasn't making commitments to fund ongoing programs that the city couldn't afford to fund. So accepting donated veterinarian services don't create that situation.
Okay, only if they stop. Only if they stop providing those services, then we're left having to budget for those.
Yes, and those are that was identified as a potential cost with the fundraising dollars that we had discussed. So every time they provide services, it saves us dollars that we otherwise would be spending.
Okay. Just for purposes of transparency, I did submit some additional questions to the city manager, and I want to thank you for being so prompt in responding, but they had to do with making sure that city officials who solicit donations remember to report behested payments to the FPPC. I think that us as elected officials know that, but some of our city officials who don't live and breathe their Form 700s and the FPPC that they, excuse me? Just waiting. Okay. That they don't always know that, so I think as a benefit to them, I thought it could be spelled out, but I understand it's in the gift policy.
Yes, so, and the gift policy is actually included. We actually included it because there's been confusion in the past about if the gift policy is a donation policy, but they are slightly different. So we included that so everybody could see that we do have a gift policy that includes like the Political Reform Act and FPPC regulations.
Okay.
So.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you very much again for answering my questions.
Thank you.
Councilmember Gama.
So in about 8 minutes, I could become a billionaire. And I fantasize about becoming a billionaire, and the first thing I would do is want to donate $50 million to the city of Port Hueneme. So my understanding of this policy is that if somebody would come in with a large donation, expecting certain things to happen, I think the policy would serve that situation very well. Is that correct?
Yes, and that key point there you said is, you know, if people expect certain things to happen with the donation, for example, the policy makes clear that there is no quid pro quo. If you're making a donation, it's accepted, but there is no promise or commitment or anything else from the city to do something that, you know, the person wants.
And if a foundation or a nonprofit or a lucky lottery winner would come along and say, hey, I want to give $50 million to the city, the policy would come into effect if that person or entity wanted to direct the funds to a certain public works. I want to support, and that's what the policy is there for, correct?
Well, and the city council has the ability to approve the donation. So the real intent of the policy would be that anybody can show up tomorrow. It'd be a nice problem to have if 20 people showed up tomorrow with big checks that they wanted to donate to the city. And so this ensures that the council gets the information on who's donating it, why, that there is no expectations, and then gives the council the ability to approve it or decline it if there's concerns about that.
And then when it comes to the vet, do we have an agreement with them, or do we just, it's just a handshake deal, and if the dog needs, well, the dogs do need vet services, and then we schedule as appropriate?
Yeah, I believe there's an agreement, but we'll confirm that. We'll let the council know. We'll follow up on that.
Yeah, because it would be a really good idea to like, let's say the dog gets an obstruction that's going to be several $1,000s, and you know, who knows what happens. I mean, so maybe to address that possibility, maybe we could have a budget item for those unforeseen circumstances, because there are huge costs.
And that's when we brought the canine donation forward, and we noted that all of the funds, there weren't plans to spend all of those funds at this time, but we recommended accepting all the funds for future potential expenses. Those were some of the expenses that we wanted to make sure we have funding for.
Great. Any other questions? Go right ahead.
Yeah, so I don't think you understood what I was trying to tell you. If, let's say, for example, if Gama was wanting to buy a beach sweeper and he's fundraising at the yacht club, and eventually 6 months down the road, you come to the council with the money, but you had been fundraising for 6 months. At what point is the council going to make a decision on this? That's what I was trying to prevent. When is the council going to be notified of a prospective idea that's going to come to the council? That's what I was talking about, consent.
Yeah, so as soon as we're notified, we would bring it to council. We'd ask the person to submit the form and bring it to council. I think sort of the underlying question is there anything we can do to stop a member of the public from starting a fundraiser without talking to us? I don't think so. But you have the choice now with clear criteria to hold them to it and either allow it or deny it. So, and now there's firm criteria to do that, and it's just whether they followed policy or not. So.
Got it.
And I think more importantly, as Councilmember Lopez just pointed out, it's like if one of us decides to go rogue or something else to do a fundraiser without going to the city manager and our council, I think that could be problematic. And I think that's what we're trying to avoid.
Right, and the council, by adopting this policy, I think the assumption is that each council member understands and is going to abide by the policy as well. So.
Yeah. Same, number 4? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's kind of my concern. It just doesn't state that. And to assume that councils in the future are going to know that, a new council member comes on board and he looks at the policy, says, well, it doesn't say that I have to go to the city manager or I have to complete any form. Other than the form being there, it doesn't really say that the form needs to be done prior to initiating any solicitation of funds.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my concern. So that would be my recommendation, just to include maybe Section 3D, that any city official or elected official should complete the form and submit the form prior to any solicitation of donations.
The council can include that if desired.
Do you think it's in there, though? I mean, I don't think it's in there.
I would say, I think that our intention is the end result is the same, because at the end of the day, anybody who shows up is gonna, with the donation would be asked to fill out the form, and it's ultimately the council's choice, so the council can decide at that time based on whether the council wants to accept the donation, but it's ultimately council's choice.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that the resolution and the form be amended to inform city council and city officials that the form must be completed and submitted prior to any solicitation of donations.
Second.
Just a couple discussion points on that, though. So if somebody comes knocking on my door and says, hey, we got this great program, you know, do you want to donate or support it? I could support it. But if the ask is, Mr. Council Member or Mrs. Council Member, will you go to City Council and request, you know, support for this fundraising effort? I mean, that's different, right? So what I think what you're trying to codify is, if a city council member is going to get involved in a fundraising effort on behalf of the city, we have to notify the city manager.
It wouldn't be,
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
it would be getting the approval of the council.
Of the council, right, not the city manager. Sorry, James.
Yeah, and part of the issue, or part of why policies, a lot of times, administrative policies, staff does not have control over the city council. There is no recourse. If you break it, there's no discipline, there's no, response. So those aren't typically there, but if the council wants to include it as a clear statement, that can be included.
Just have one question, Mayor Pro Tem Hernandez. So does bullet number 4, under the proposed donation acceptance policy, where it says requires donation acceptance form for all proposed donations to ensure consistent review or documentation, that doesn't
Let's see,
meet what you're referring to?
Section 1, where are you?
Page 1 of 9 and bullet number 4. Page number 1.
Donation acceptance form, down here, the donation.
Page number 1, you're on 3.
It's actually page 2 of 9. Requires donation acceptance form.
Okay, I'm looking on my iPad, so my apologies.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the actual resolution, not the staff report.
Okay. But let me ask you the same question, though.
It doesn't, it's not, whatever you're reading is not reflected in the resolution.
Okay, so are we specifically talking about the resolution or with the policy?
Well, that
instruction?
resolution establishes the
Yeah,
policy.
but my question is number 4, it says page 2. Does number 4 bullet, or you're not even, are you?
Yeah, requires a donation.
So that's not,
It doesn't meet the consent.
when you say consent, what do you mean it
It
doesn't?
says prior to soliciting donations, that's the catchphrase there. Because we'd had a situation this year where somebody went out and solicited donations before getting council approval. They raised over $5,000.
Okay.
So we don't want that to happen again.
Mhm.
So we want them to get approval to raise over $5,000
Yeah, I understand that,
before
but,
they start
yeah.
soliciting for items that are not.
yeah, so, and the only reason I'm asking the question is, that means that everyone understands and knows this policy. Like our city manager said, we might not, maybe they don't know the policy, but on our side, we can't accept until we get the form. So that's kind of us reaching out. I mean, we'd have to do an educational,
Okay.
thing to inform all, residents of the policy, you know what I mean?
No, it would be only for city officials and electeds. They would, if they're the ones going out and doing the solicitation, they should know that there is a policy in place, that they have to ask for permission.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying, though. And part of it is, it requires a form, so know that the city won't accept anything without the form. So that's kind of, I'm just looking at it from a different approach.
Yeah, and I'm looking at having, if that's the case, then it should be in the the language should be in the resolution.
Okay.
So,
So we have a motion and a second.
and we're having discussion right now, right?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take the motion in a second, then we'll move to discussion.
We're in discussion.
Yeah, we had a motion and
In
a
a
second.
second, so now we're in
Okay,
discussion.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It feels like, I mean, we should be open to any and all avenues of support. And if somebody comes forward and says, hey, I got this great idea, I want to do this, and if it's a city staff member, now we have I feel like this is kind of, I don't see that there was a problem with what we did in raising funds for K-9. And I feel like maybe this might get in the way of future things that come into being, and it just, 'cause I don't think we did anything wrong in raising those funds, and I think this kind of feels like, oh, well, we want to make sure things don't, anyway, so it just feels a little awkward for me right now.
Right, yeah.
Madam Mayor, if I may, someone is wishing to make a public comment. The public comment period has closed, but it's up to the council should they desire to open the public comment again.
I think we should.
So when you said a public, before?
Yes, so it's for the donations policy, which you are discussing right now.
Okay, only because we've already taken a motion in a second.
Because the consent calendar items
Right.
go with general public comment.
Okay, what says the
I think,
council?
I think we should allow public comment anytime it comes forward.
So it's closed, so we're going to go ahead and do that, because we want to be consistent. So it's closed, and so we'll go ahead and continue to have the discussion. Great, thank you.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
So I think that anybody coming forward to fundraise for something that could potentially be a future program that the city will have to eventually potentially put on a budget should always get permission from council.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's what this is for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the purpose of this amendment and this policy is.
Okay. All right, so just so I'm clear, so you want to make that statement in, did you
Yeah, I think I
state
gave
what
the
the
language
note is?
to
You have the
this-
language?
Yeah, I think I gave the language to the city manager a few minutes ago, but that
Would you-
the required donation acceptance form for all proposed donations should be submitted to the city manager for review, the city manager and the city council, depending on,
So,
prior to any solicitation of donations.
so
Prior to solicitation of donations, we want people to get permission.
but I'm a little struck that you just said that you gave information to the city manager,
Yeah.
but you didn't, we don't know what that information
Yeah,
is.
I just read it to
She's
him.
just giving it right now.
No, want to go back in the tape? It's there, but
No, I'm saying
maybe
that.
the city manager can
I think
reread it, what I gave him.
She was saying it was
comment
what she had
is
just said
now and not
a
something
couple moments
You
ago.
said you asked him questions earlier, it's not part of that.
So should we, I don't know, do
So
we
we
look
already-
at it?
we
Do we
already
look
got a-
at what
we already got a second.
information?
Okay, so this is where we are. So you've had a motion, you seconded, great. Any other discussion that we haven't already talked about? Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you. Now, that was the motion to make the adjustment. Is that correct?
My understanding was it was to approve it with that amendment.
Okay, great, sounds good, thank you. So we'll move on, that concludes the consent calendar. We have no hearings, we'll move to business item number 6, appointment of the city attorney and approval of legal services agreement with Alshire and Wender. Staff, please present the report.
Thank you. I'll present just a brief report. On September 15th, 2025, the City Council initiated a request for proposal or RFP process to obtain proposals to serve as city attorney. The city went through a a detailed, full RFP process, received several applications and reviewed those, and interviewed several of the candidates, and ultimately selected Alsher and Winder, or ultimately directed the city manager to negotiate an agreement with Alsher and Winder. And so we have negotiated said agreement. The agreement is included in the agenda packet today for approval. The proposed agreement with Alsher and Winder is for city attorney services. It's a 5-year term beginning December 16th, 2025. However, with the city council having the ability to opt out at any time, which essentially ensures that it is an at-will agreement with just a not-to-exceed date of December 16th, 2030, 5 years. The agreement designates Paul Early Esquire as the city attorney and outlines the comprehensive scope of services with Mr. Early and the city of Port Hueneme. We also worked with the firm to on the proposed hourly rate. We negotiated a discounted structure with a retainer for the first 40 hours at a discounted rate of $287.50 per hour for a monthly retainer of $11,500. The idea with that is we think that 40 hours is a realistic sort of starting point of that we wouldn't use less than 40 hours as we get rolling. And then the idea would be that when we have our 6-month review, that we can discuss at that time how that's working and if the city council sees any need for change or modification at that time. Additional hours for a variety of services range from $285 to $325 for general services, depending on level of expertise required. And then there's other rates for other services, such as special services, which are billed at a higher rate. And the RFP includes a list of what is generally those categories and what those rates are. The firm, once approved, the city will begin working with the firm to get Mr. Early ready to, essentially, the plan would be for him to attend the next council meeting, which would be the January 20th meeting. And as we work together, the firm will provide monthly attorney-client privilege billing statements with detailed descriptions of services rendered. And we recommend approving the agreement at this time and appointing Mr. Early as the city attorney for the city of Port Hueneme. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Oh, go right ahead.
So I just have a few questions. I did send you questions. I didn't get a chance to read them, but I don't know what was kicked back, so I'm just going to ask my questions. So the general services, the 40 hours a month is a flat fee for unlimited general services for 40 hours. What happens if we're in a dark month and we use 10 hours? Are the 30 hours banked, or we still going to charge 40 hours?
So to answer your question specifically, it's use it or lose it.
Okay.
However, the reason we set the 40 hours per month is because we don't expect to use less than 40 hours in the first 6 months, as we, like I said before, we have a council evaluation and discussion at that time, at the 6-month point. So we set that as knowing that it was very unlikely we'd ever have less than that over the next 6 months.
Got it. So the special services, who are you the arbiter of special services? What is identified as special services?
No, the special services are identified in the contract, and really, there's a category on page 40 of 42, and I'll read the list, but I'll explain it a little bit better after. But special services include, but are not limited to, real estate, rent control, housing, complex land use and zoning, eminent domain, regulatory takings, labor and employment, investigations, enterprise funds, franchise negotiations, major contract negotiations, municipal finance matters other than bonds and other similar financial services, environmental and toxics, water, energy, franchises, utilities and telecommunications, solid waste, rent control, mobile home matters, police and fire matters, and litigation services. And really, in a nutshell, those are going to be those things that the council is going to have to make a specific decision, probably in a closed session, where we're able to advise the council that if you choose to initiate a litigation, it's going to be at this increased special services rate. And so I would say generally, I don't think, I'm almost all of those things are things that will require direct council direction, and not things that I can really give direction on. And then so there's sort of the control over it. And then those are also things that can add up very quickly, so I'll probably be the person recommending that we avoid as much of that as we can. But the intent of the contract is that once you hire the city attorney, if you want him to do those things, we already have a contract with him whereby he could do those things. And partially, keep in mind that with city attorneys, one thing you don't want to do is if you think you're going to get sued, you don't want to sort of telegraph that you're about to sue somebody else by having to come back and have a separate contract that then, is has to go through the process. So this contract allows for those special services, but they will generally be at the council's direction.
Got it. Okay, so if Mr. Early cannot attend a council meeting or staff meeting, does he have a designated backup?
Yes, and so actually we were planning tomorrow to send an email to the council with his who he's recommending as the assistant city attorney. He told me the name and I'm blanking on it, but I know he's actually covering a water district meeting at this moment, and so we'll follow up with the council on that. But it's going to be a designated assistant city attorney. They are also a partner, and I think for us it was, the important thing was making sure that we have expertise ready to step in if in case something happens to Mr. Early or he's unable to attend a meeting. So.
Got it. All right. Yeah, that was it. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Was that it?
That's it. And then if and when the council approves the item after that point, I was going to offer to let Mr. Early introduce himself, but only after the council determines.
Okay, great. Are there any public comments?
No public comments.
Okay. So we have the recommendation before us, authorize the city manager to execute an agreement with Alshire and Wender LLP for legal services and appoint Paul Ely Esquire as the city attorney. May I have a motion and a second?
I'd like to make the motion that the city council authorize the city manager to execute an agreement with Alshire and Winder LLP for legal services and appoint Paul Early Esquire as the city attorney.
Is there a second?
Second.
Great.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you.
With that, would the council
Yes.
like Mr. Early to introduce himself?
Yes, please come to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, staff. Thank you all for having me. I can't say how honored I am and looking forward to coming and getting started and working to serve the city of Port Hueneme. As city manager indicated a moment ago, I intend to send some information to you tomorrow. I'll include a resume for my proposed assistant city attorney, Darren Ziegler, it was the name.
Yeah.
I'll send you a copy of his resume. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. But he is an experienced attorney who can step into my shoes at any time. And as he mentioned, he's actually stepping into my shoes tonight for one of my water district clients who had a special meeting today because of the holiday shift. We have on alternating Mondays. So with that, I think city manager explained the special services pretty thoroughly, so I don't know that I need to address that any further, other than to say that we're a large firm with specialists in various matters. So if you think of it in terms of those cases that come up where you would normally be looking for a specialist, I need a power purchase agreements, you know, somebody who's a specialist in that, or a progressive design build large, you know, $500 million water treatment facility that we're building, those types of issues where we have specialists that wouldn't necessarily do the general day-to-day work that I'm doing. Those are the ones where if you direct us to proceed with those matters, that those rates would kick in. So thank you very much. January 20th is some time away, but like I said, I'll be reaching out and hoping to get together with each of you individually during that time to get to know your individual concerns and issues and priorities for the coming year, so I can hit the ground running as soon as possible.
Thank you. Anything? Any comment?
I got one. Before you leave, so just so I understand the process, you will be starting January 20th?
Well, I think the indication is that we'll get the contract signatures in place so that all the insurance and everything like that's in place. And as soon as that's done, I suspect that some day-to-day work will start trickling in over the holiday period. I just think January 20th is the first day that I'll be on the dais and sitting in that capacity.
The first council meeting, but we'll be starting.
Okay, and then
as soon as we
prior to January 20th, will you try to meet with each of us individually? Is that the plan?
I'll be reaching out to you all tomorrow for scheduling and convenience to see what the easiest way to do it for each of you will be, whether we do that virtually, or you want to go to coffee or lunch or meet in an office here. Whatever works best for you, we'll work that out. But yeah, I'm eager to meet with each of you individually to see where you're at with and what your goals are for the coming year.
I like meeting on the beach.
We
Just
can do
me.
that. Great, thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to business item number 7, update agreement with the Port Hueneme Little League regarding Bubbling Springs Park ball fields and related items. Staff, please present the report.
Thank you. And our recreation team and our deputy city manager have been working. It feels like Bubbling Springs Park has been open for a long time, and and you know that it's all working and in progress. But we were talking about this today, that I think it's been open for about 7 months at this point. And so as part of that, you know, we made a pretty significant shift with the Little League and changing how the relationship with the city and the Little League works, and still with the effort of trying to benefit both organizations. And so this is, we called it the 1-year agreement or update, but really it's less than that because the park wasn't open. So we're really at about a 6 or 7 month update. So with that, I'll introduce Charles Peretz, who's been working as part of that, and he'll walk us through how it's working and make a recommendation.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem. Congratulations, City Council members, members of the public, city staff. So at the risk of very briefly repeating what the city manager said, item 7 pertains to a proposal to approve a renewal agreement with the Port Hueneme Little League. As the council will recall, last December, this body approved a new agreement with the Port Hueneme Little League. As noted at the time, the league's use of Bubbling Springs was to commence following the completion of the park renovation project, and that staff would return to council before the end of the year to review the league's experience under the new agreement and to consider renewal. The league resumed use in mid-April and finished out the spring season at the renovated facility. The league also held its first full fall season at the new park and experienced a significant increase in enrollment. This presentation is intended to provide a summary of the league's performance under the new agreement and highlight 3 specific proposed changes to the agreement for council's consideration. So by way of quick background, the Little League is a nonprofit organization that served the youth of Port Hueneme and South Oxnard since 1959 by operating a Little League program at Bubbling Springs Park. The prior license agreement, which was replaced with the current agreement, granted the Little League exclusive use of the park's ball fields and snack bar and assigned the maintenance responsibilities directly to the league. For a variety of reasons, including the anticipated increase in demand for use of the fields of the new renovated park and the city's desire to assume maintenance operations associated with the newly renovated park, the city worked with the league to create a new agreement. As noted, the revised agreement replaced that exclusive use with non-exclusive, priority-based use, and assigned the primary responsibility back to the city. So as noted, the new agreement, which was approved by council about a year ago, provides the league with the priority access to reserve the fields, designates the league as the operator of the concession stand, and prescribes specific use of the designated storage area and community room. Under the agreement, the city is responsible for the primary maintenance of the park and the fields, and the Little League is responsible for field preparation activities such as dragging the infields and chalking the baselines. The agreement also the agreement also requires the Little League to pay an annual fee of $3,750 and to cover utility costs associated with the operation of the snack bar. As noted during last year's review, the estimated cost of the park permits for hours requested by the league would otherwise be approximately $40,000. As such, the approved annual fee of the $3,750 represents a subsidy of the use, and that's done in recognition of the community benefits that it provides to the youth of our community, as well as to various physical improvements that the league has made to the park over its longstanding history of use. The agreement also assigns operational responsibility for the snack bar, including both maintenance requirements, permit obtaining and maintaining, and all things related to the operation of the snack bar, in addition, as noted, to covering all the financial costs of operation. So, the league resumed use in April and finished its spring season, as noted earlier. In addition to the league's use, wanted to point out that since the reopening of the park, the city has issued about 23 permits to other organizations that have used the fields since July. And we have anecdotally observed a lot of casual drop-in use that isn't by permit or by agreement, but the fields are getting used not just by the Little League, but by lots of others, individuals and groups. City staff have maintained open communications with the league representatives, and that ongoing coordination has supported both field maintenance efforts, which are now being done primarily by the city, but also by staff, or by volunteers, I should say, over at the league. And it has helped in resolving an issue that came up that I'll get into in just a moment regarding a misunderstanding about field use, as well as it has facilitated adjustments to the league's schedule to accommodate another user. So that referenced misunderstanding pertains to an incident that involved the use by a ball field by a group during a time that the league believed it had reserved for their activities. That situation provided the opportunity for the city to reiterate that questions and concerns about authorized use of the city fields should be directed to city representatives, and that the city would administer, coordinate, and otherwise handle those misunderstandings or those conflicts. And we're confident that as a result of those communications, the league does understand that those it should be directed to the city in the future, and that they do not have a role in enforcing or otherwise resolving such matters. Lastly, and you may recall a couple of months ago we brought an item to council, the league demonstrated flexibility in its scheduling for it next year. That was when the Del Sol High School requested use of the city's ball fields due to a renovation project they have next spring. Staff communicated with the league regarding its planned use, because we're familiar with the schedule that they have in the springtime, and discussed potential conflicts between the requested use from the high school and their intended use. The league agreed to modify its schedule to allow for the other user to have their request approved in full. And once again, that item was presented and approved by the council in October. So as to the modifications to the existing agreement, the new agreement seeks to utilize the agreement that council approved last December with 3 specific adjustments. The term of the agreement is proposed to be a 1-year, as is the current agreement, but to allow the city manager authorization to approve 4 subsequent 1-year extensions, provided there are no compliance issues or substantive changes. If there were compliance concerns or requests for substantive changes to the agreement, those would be brought back to the city council for consideration. The second adjustment would be to increase the total number of weekday hours available to the league. Currently, the spring season provides 18 weekday hours, and the proposal is to change that to 20. And in the fall, the current agreement allows 12 weekday hours, and the proposal is to change that to 15. And this, again, is in response to enrollment during the fall season, which the league experienced an increase in interest and participation from youth in the community. And then lastly, the agreement proposes to modify language about the field closure to allow the city to maintain the fields. Currently, we have 2 one-week periods, one in April and one in August, and the modified language of the agreement provides the city with a 6-week closure period to ensure that all the maintenance efforts considered necessary by the Public Works Department are able to be performed. So that is a summary of the presentation, and the recommendation is for the council to authorize the city manager to execute a renewal agreement with the Port Hueneme Little League to continue the non-exclusive priority use of the facilities at Bubbling Springs Park. Staff is here and available for questions, and I just will note for the record, if there are questions best posed directly to the Little League, we do have 2 representatives with us this evening.
Great. Any questions? Councilmember
Yes.
Nicole?
So in the agreement, the city is in the process of separating the meters from the snack bar. Do we have a ballpark time that's going to happen?
So we're pretty sure at this point that the actual separation of the meters is not going to be something that we're going to be able to accomplish. We are going to find the most accurate and effective way to separate the costs associated with general park maintenance operation and Little League associated operations. We've discussed this with the Little League. They have acknowledged and accepted responsibility for these costs. We have one utility which can be billed directly to them, that's the gas. The water and the electricity, we are currently working on the best way to either estimate or literally measure the use associated with the snack bar, because as noted, the Little League is responsible for all of the utility costs associated with the operation of the snack bar.
So wouldn't it be wise just to implement a flat fee based on the estimates that the staff comes up with?
There's effectively 2 options. It's one, either going to be a flat fee, or if we do find an effective way of measuring or assigning a proportionate amount, because there will be seasonal changes for certain utilities, water usage, electricity usage based on sunset and how many hours of the day. So there will be seasonal changes, and if we can identify an appropriate proportional share, it wouldn't necessarily be a flat amount, but it may be a flat percentage. So those are the 2 options we're looking at. But yeah, there will be kind of a set standard that we would assign.
One more question. The contract, it does state 1 year, 4 one-year extensions authorized by the city manager. This effectively removes this contract from the city council oversight until 2030. And this goes directly to the city manager. So so you're saying within this contract, it every year we're gonna look at any changes within this user agreement? So if something happens where we're gonna have to pivot and it's gonna need city council, it's gonna come back to city council?
Yes, correct.
If what I would anticipate is if something isn't working and we're finding a problem, then it would come back to council. If everything's going smoothly and we're not hearing any questions from council, any questions from the public, any concerns, then we have the ability to do the 1-year extension. But the way we would envision that working is if we're hearing questions or concerns, or if we're working on the metering issue, but let's say this will not happen, but by the end of next year, if we hadn't solved that, we'd have to come back to council and talk about how the council wants us to solve it, as an example.
So it's my understanding that this is similar to the way we deal with beach soccer Copa Cabana. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the city council approved.
5 years.
Maybe it was 5 years? Okay.
I think it was.
It was a long-term agreement. It was something like, yeah, and so Charles is confirming 5 years.
Right. So my correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in those 5 years, when they're exercising year 2, year 3, I think it comes to us on a consent calendar, and if there's any updates, I think you provide that to us. Am I not
Don't
accurate?
believe it comes on the consent calendar. I think what we've done, very similar to this though, is that when they've proposed major changes, then we come back to the council and have the council approve or deny.
Right. But we do have conversations like, okay, how's it going? What's working right? I mean, it's not like it's just one and done and we'll see you in 4 years. I mean,
Yeah, and I think the other key point is this was actually the only time we've done a 1-year agreement, and the reason we did the 1-year agreement was exactly why we're here today, which is we expected to learn in the first 6 months of how this whole new agreement, new process. So we knew we'd be back here today. But the hope is that as it goes smoothly and everything's good and everybody's happy, that we wouldn't have to keep coming back, unless there was a desire to.
I don't know if the Little League's willing to come up and tell us how they feel about it, but could we hear from them?
Yeah, can we, just a couple of more questions we have. And so I'll just say my statement, and it'll have a question mark at the end. But I imagine anytime we want to know what's happening or where are we with the separation of the electricity, you said we're not going to do that, but if we have any questions at any time, we could say, city manager, come back and give us a report on, where we are.
Yeah, and we would give updates. We've already talked about, I think what shows you this is working is that in the past, an agreement in the 5 years, everybody would find out at the end of 5 years that there were these problems that hadn't been resolved. And I think what shows you this is working is we're back here 6 months later saying this hasn't been resolved, this hasn't been resolved, so we are now pivoting to Plan B on these. But so we would plan to give the council the updates of when those are resolved, and then if anybody had concerns, obviously we can have conversations about those, and then ultimately there's always the future agenda process if somebody has immediate concerns and wants to put it on an agenda, and or the council could ask for it to come back for the annual review. So there's the intent is not to keep the council out of it. I think one thing, and if you look at our agendas, there's a lot of items like all the 17 cannabis businesses and all these other items that for some reason when they were set up have these annual reviews that really take a lot of staff time and really should be reviewed when there's a problem. It shouldn't be that we have to bring all these dozens and dozens of items back to council every year to just report that it's going smoothly. It's a lot of effort. So we're trying to address that too.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. I have some questions about the community room, and it appears did you mention there was any changes to how that room's going to be used?
There's no proposed changes from
Okay.
the agreement that's currently
What's
in
the
place.
size of that room? Do we know?
Small?
Yeah, I remember seeing it, and
About one office, like an office, maybe 10 by 20, something like that.
10 by
Maybe even
20.
smaller.
so it's not really a meeting room.
It's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be tight to have even just I think we even tried to have a meeting with the Little League out there at one point, and it was pretty tight.
Ann and I met with them a couple of months ago. There's a table in there, and it can seat six to eight
people, maybe.
Yeah, 8 would be tight.
Okay. All right, I guess then that cancels out my question about how groups would go about reserving the room if they wanted to use it.
So it is something that's eligible for reservation. The agreement
Right.
currently provides in the spring season that the Little League is the primary user. There is the opportunity for others to reserve the room provided the Little League's not using it. Their use in the fall is quite limited, and it is available for public use. As we are indicating, though, based on the size, I think it has limited application, and there may be limited interest in reserving it, but it is something that's available for members of the public to reserve.
And the process would be if somebody wanted to use that room, say a city council member wanted to use that room, go through the city manager. What about somebody from the public?
It's a facility that's available through our reservation system online.
Oh, okay, great, good to know. Just an idea is in our emergency operations plan, it may be worth looking at possible use of that facility for emergency operations if we have a major emergency, and get it on our list of critical facilities. Just in case, because if something happens to that building, then it's eligible for state and federal assistance for repairing damages. So just a thought.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Just a couple of more, please. So the 3,700, my screen froze for a minute. 3,750, the fees for the Little League. When do they pay that? First of the year? Do they have to wait till they sell in the concession? How does that work?
It's not specified in the agreement, and we have allowed it to be paid prior to the end of the calendar year.
The end of the calendar year.
But I can confirm that it has been paid for the current year.
Oh, it has, okay. Okay. And so we don't, my other question was, do we know what that covers as it relates to the maintenance of anything over there? So we don't know that because we don't have the electrical bill or anything like that.
We don't, but I'll just mention that the electrical bill, the water bill, and the gas bill that are associated with that would be in addition to. So the $3,750 is a standalone cost, and that the league would also be responsible for those other utility costs.
So the question was really about, since we didn't get that this year, really how much did the Little League pay into our general fund?
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't have that piece, right? And we're not going to have that piece.
Right.
Okay, so just want to be clear about that. And for the Del Sol school, are they paying anything for the use of the fields?
They're not. We took a report to the city council in October. We have a unique relationship with the school district. Our very successful and very popular Learn to Swim program utilizes the pool at Hueneme High at no cost, and the proposal that we brought forward to council was in consideration of that. We thought it was appropriate to allow them to use our facilities without charging.
Okay, got it. I remember the conversation now. Thank you. And that was my last question. No one else? Do we have any public comments?
No public comments.
Okay, no public comments? No? Great, thank you. So we have before us, let me see, to authorize the city manager to execute a renewal agreement with the Port Hueneme Little League, which will continue their non-exclusive but priority-based usage of the ball fields at Bubbling Springs Park through the 2026 calendar year. May I have a motion and a second?
Move to approve?
I'd like to make a motion. Yeah. I'd like to make a motion to reduce the extensions to 1 2-year agreements. This will allow a market rate review rather than waiting to 2030. So then so the city manager would, this would come back in 2028 rather than 2030.
Okay. So can you state your motion?
Yeah, I'll
again?
make a motion to reduce the extensions to 2 1-year agreements to make a market rate review.
Okay. Is there
I could second that, yeah.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
any additional discussion?
For clarification, so I understand the 2 1-year terms. I just want to make sure I heard a market rate agreement.
Well, since we don't know, I mean, we know what the total utility usages are. And this is probably 95% subsidized. So what's missing is the individual snack bars, right? So rather than wait to 2030 and seeing this, not keeping our eye on this, I'd rather this come back in 2028.
Can I just make a comment real quick? So I think what we don't want to miss is that this is an annual re-up of the contract. So we could have that every year. So I guess I'm just not understanding why 2028 versus a 2030
Because city manager can authorize just the extension without coming to council.
Okay.
I'd rather it come back to council in 2028.
Yeah, the only question I have, I understand that. The only question I have is, I want to make sure everybody understands, because a market rate review would be a different approach than what we've done. So is the request just to do this extension for 2 years and have it come to council, which I think is the intent of the
Yes.
request, versus coming back with a market rate contract, which would be a different approach. So, so I think I understand, and I think Councilmember Lopez just confirmed the request is to modify it to a 2 one-year term agreement that then would come back to the council.
Are we in discussion or question?
That was my motion.
Yeah, he had a motion, so.
And got a second.
So now we're in discussion.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary, and I think maybe, when we have these 4 and 5 year agreements, that maybe we should come back once a year to council, just give a quick little update if there's no problems. Again, I'd love to always hear from Little League. I know that they're doing great things out there. So I feel like that was what I was trying to say earlier, is like, I thought that when we did the 5 year agreement with the Copacabana Beach Soccer, that we'd get a little update every year. Oh, by the way, they're coming to town. And maybe we could resolve, there's nothing to resolve, but I think at least letting us know the status of the contract, how's everything going, how's the, like, for example, if I drive by and go, the grass is dead, what's going on? So I think we could accomplish what Councilmember Lopez is suggesting. And I do want to say that I met the baseball coach from Del Sol the other day at the dog park, and they're so appreciative of the fact that we're helping them, and hopefully he's keeping his fingers crossed that they're going to be having their ball fields late January, I believe, and hopefully they want to open up their season, their first varsity season at their new facility. So.
Thank you. Just one more question or comment. Councilmember Lopez said a 5 year contract, but I'm not reading 5 years anywhere. I'm reading a 1 year initial contract with 4 options. So it's 1 year each.
Plus 4.
Yeah.
1 plus 4 1 year extensions.
Yeah, but they're 4 year extensions if the city says extend. So
Yeah,
I just want to.
I think the distinction is under that the city manager could make that determination and it
Right.
wouldn't come back to the council.
Okay.
So the question would be, does the council want it to come back to the council?
Yes.
Yeah. Or does the council want to review it every year? So we don't have to make it.
I don't know if it's review it every year, but just have a quick update. Hey, FYI, things are going well.
I'm just a little concerned because you said when Councilmember Lopez mentioned the market, like fair market value, you commented and said, well, we haven't done it like that. So it seems like there is something different that we may be looking at doing in 2028, or is it really, we can do that anytime?
I mean, the council could do it at any time. I think, we didn't start with this point, and maybe we should have, is that last year the council made a decision based on, and, we didn't include this information because this was just the annual update, but, essentially the council said, what would it cost to just issue permits to the Little League, and not have a separate agreement? And the cost would be significant because permits are expensive. I think the estimate was $40,000. And so then the agreement that was worked out was, okay, we're like, the council's going to subsidize some of that cost and approve an annual agreement because it serves, members of our community and our youth, and that's a thing the city wants to encourage. So that's the approach the city council chose. So all we're doing is updating that.
Right.
And so the reason I wanted to get clarity is because if we were talking about going market rate, then that would require a whole lot of analysis and explanation and conversation, and we would be bringing back something that looked completely different. So that was why that phrase was one that I wanted to make sure everybody understood. So my understanding now is that that's not the intent, but it's just the intent to have the agreement come back to the council in 2 years.
Does he need to remove that from his motion?
I think he did. I think he
Did?
confirmed it.
So we don't have to, okay, so we're good to go.
Great. Do we have any public comments?
No public comments.
Okay, great. Thank you.
If I may, so again, just to be clear to the public, the Little League, we're only talking about utility costs for the snack bar, correct? And then,
There's a variety of utility costs.
snack bar only, or
Water.
water?
Yeah.
Water, electricity, gas.
Water, electricity, gas.
In the snack bar?
Correct.
And then, because the lights are new to the city, right, and we subsidize, or we pay for the electricity for the nighttime lights.
The agreement does not specify that the Little League would pay separately for the cost of athletic field lighting
Okay.
or irrigation. So yeah, it's the gas, electric, and water associated with the use of the concession stand.
Okay. So we have a motion and a
Yeah.
second, I believe?
Yep. Madam Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you. We're going to move to our request for, we have no request for future items. We'll move to our city manager comments. Thank you for your report. We'll move to city manager comments and reports.
All right, and we had a couple things we wanted to highlight briefly. I know it's been referenced, but it was our really big holiday week. We had numerous events, and a thank you to all of our team members who helped put those on. I know many were mentioned, our recreation department, facilities department, and public works department, police department. Pretty much everybody pitches in for these, and then and also partners such as our neighboring agencies and community members. So we wanted to start with highlighting the tree lighting ceremony, which was held on December 2nd. It was referenced earlier. We had holiday caroling, Santa letter writing station, and complimentary hot chocolate. And we have several photos of that event here. And then following that, about a week later, we had the senior holiday luncheon, which is always a great event. And it was a sold-out event. This has become the usual, and a good time for everybody serving our seniors. And then we had a new event, and credit to our recreation department who came up with it, but the Pancakes with Santa event this year on December 7th. And so we had another sold-out event serving our youth, and that was a great event as well. And then last week and tonight, if anybody heard the sirens earlier, that wasn't a emergency response. That was the police escorting Santa. So tonight, 2 nights last week and tonight, our team is taking Santa out to our neighborhoods and trying to spread holiday cheer to our local families and community members. So a big holiday week, and it was things that, as mentioned earlier, everybody really pulls together, and a lot of people volunteer, and everybody enjoys it. So we want to thank everybody for that. And it feels a long way away, but I'm sure it'll come quickly. January 20th, right now, what we have planned for that city council meeting, Martin Luther King Day proclamation, Alaska Flight 261 Memorial Proclamation, and a quarterly employee recognition for presentations. We expect to have a public hearing for a permit for our annual 5K event, which has really gotten popular, and hopefully people are looking forward to again this year. And then business items, we right now plan to do our annual council policy and procedures manual review. We're working on a project and plan to bring forward an item that starts to lay out a plan for replacing some outdated playground equipment. The item that says implementing a building appeals board, it's a requirement that cities have building appeals boards, and we need to get into compliance with that requirement. So we'll be bringing an item to talk about that. And then the annual City Council Liaison Committee appointments. So it's a month out, but we already have a pretty full agenda scheduled. And with that, that's my presentation.
Great, thank you. I will now move to council members' reports and comments. Councilmember Perez.
Thank you. I attended the Association of Defense Communities meeting. The discussion was mainly focused on recent changes in grant funding priorities, particularly regarding the reconsideration of previously submitted projects that were not awarded. There's some challenges posed by new evaluation criteria and the need for clarity on the fund allocation. There's also issues with some healthcare issues, primarily with TRICARE transition process for our residents who are military families. So those are just some of the things that we've been talking about, is how to assist and make that process easier. And then I attended the Boys and Girls Club meeting. I normally don't report on that because it doesn't have anything specific to Hueneme, but this one did. We're about to have a red ribbon cutting soon for February for the new building, so that's coming along really well. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to go by there and see that, but it looks like a Boys and Girls Club. It looks really, and they also got funding, which is a new one, to fix the floor. So that's the basketball court. So that's been an issue with, I guess, the program we used to have for the community we're playing basketball. There was an issue with the basketball court. So that is, they weren't able to get funding then, but they are able to get funding now, so.
Yes, hot off the presses, Dr. Kiki Patch is our scientific advisor with Beacon, and I just got this, I think all of us received this in our email, the People's Beach, and it's sustaining equitable public access in California, and that's something that at Beacon that we're beginning to try to understand is like using cell phone data. Who comes to the beach? Why do they come to the beach? How long do they stay at the beach? And I think this is a offshoot of that, and really looking forward to getting through it all. But so far, it's pretty impressive, and you know, it just speaks well to the fact that we got these nationally recognized experts working with us at Beacon. So, and I really enjoyed our holiday kickoff. There really is nothing like the senior holiday luncheon, the lighting of the Christmas tree, and then this new addition, the pancake breakfast. You know, I was a little taken back because the crowd in prior years was 2 times, 3 times maybe what we had this year here for the Christmas tree lighting. But then in attending the pancake breakfast and the other, the senior holiday luncheon, I think it's good to spread it out. But very enjoyable, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yes, I did meet with the Veterans Ad Hoc Advisory Committee. Discussions went well. They're moving towards a banner, Hueneme Veterans Banner Program that they're gonna present to REACH, and once these two bodies come and give us a finished product, it will come to council for approval / allowing REACH to fundraise if they choose to go that route. But so that was a good discussion point, and they look like they have good direction, and it's moving. Thanks.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah, I've attended a number of meetings. I, for some reason, felt like it was time to go on vacation, but everybody was still working. But these meetings kind of snuck on me, which is what I was trying to say. So I attended the site authority meeting. I'll probably continue as chair for that next year. The Southern California Association of Governments meeting was an important meeting that I attended on the first week of December, and then the Clean Power Alliance meeting. The SCAG meeting is the meeting I wanted to comment on mostly, that had to do with, we had a presentation by Eric Garcetti, who is helping to launch the 2028 Olympics, and they had a panel of economic forecasters who spoke about the economic impact of the Olympics on Southern California. And I did share the presentation with James, and if you are interested in looking at it, and you will notice that the bar of the level of impact that we're going to have here in Ventura County is very small, primarily because we're not going to be we're not a venue city. We don't have an Olympics venue planned here in this community, but there are other things that we can do, and I believe we should be doing. And I'm passing some of this information over to the West County Business Alliance. I know that they're gearing up for the 2028 Olympics, but I believe that we as a city should probably put that on our list of goals to consider for the next year and the year following until up until the Olympics. Things that we can do to increase shopping, tourism, and economic development initiatives here in the city, because there's 13 million people coming into Los Angeles for the Olympics. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for them to come into the county, to stay at our hotels, to visit our museums, to come to our beaches, and I think we should be prepared to welcome them and to take advantage of some of the economic impact that could possibly be there. I also am working with the Channel Counties Board. I am the vice president this year of the Channel Counties Board. They decided to keep Eric on one more year because of his accident. He didn't get to quite serve as president, so he's serving again this year. We are planning some events here in Ventura County. Ventura City has agreed to host one of the tri-county events, and so I'll be meeting with Bill Ayub to talk about what restaurants they want to use and possible sponsorship of that particular event for our Channel Counties group. I also attended Achieving Coastal Resiliency meeting. Coastal resiliency is still a very hot topic. There's a requirement for a sea level rise plan to be completed by 2030 or 2034, so that's something I think we need to begin discussing. Also, the mayor and I had the pleasure of attending the Kaiser Permanente Educational Theater performance at Bard Elementary School. It was a very good program. I'm sure those of you who have kids have seen that program offered in the schools. It's a 40-year-old program, and it was the first time I'd ever seen it, and we really enjoyed ourselves. It teaches behavior modification, how to control your emotions, how to identify what you're feeling, and how to name it and react to it. And I thought it was something that we all can use here on the city council, I think, sometimes. Other than that, I will be attending the RDP meeting this week. The executive board, we're going to be making a new appointment for executive director, and the existing executive director will be stepping down and retiring. So I'll report back after that action's been taken, and I'll report that back in January. That's all I have. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Oh, one more thing. I do want to ask that we adjourn the meeting in memory of the owner of Steak Hoagie.
Hoagies,
Yeah, Manuel Alvarado, who passed away. In February 2024. It was just announced, I guess. But anyway, if we could, I'm not sure I'm looking at the right one, but he was the owner of Hoagie Steak House. Okay?
Okay, great, thank you. So I attended all the city events, did get an opportunity to go out to the Port's President's Dinner and the open house, so did that. There's a special meeting. Let me start here. I'm scheduled to be on travel tomorrow through Sunday. There's a special meeting with APCD that I will be missing because of that, and thank you to Mayor Pro Tem for attending the RDP board meeting. I did attend the Ventura County Museum holiday reception, which was very good. They had the state of the museum and learned a lot about what they have there at the museum. And if you haven't gone, I really recommend that you go and see the museum. They were actually given tours after the state of the museum. I did get offered through the development POC if the city staff or the council were interested in going on a private tour, they would be willing to share that with us. So just let me know. I have some contact information. And I was able to attend a couple of events this weekend, toy drives. So that's nice. Getting everybody's ready to get in the holiday spirit, and it's just nice to be around folks at this time when we're trying to develop relationships, get closer, and things like that. So that is what I've done. I'm looking forward to January. You mentioned about the opening of the grand reopening of the Boys and Girls Club, and so looking forward to that. And then that's all that I have.
I have one more. You just reminded me that I met with I spoke to someone from the West Coast Business Alliance, who happens to have been on the Boys and Girls Club board. I didn't realize. And apparently they're talking about adding Wainimi to their group. I don't know what that means or what the details are. That's just what I was told today. So I assume they'll be reaching out to you, James, I guess.
Yeah, I initiated the conversation with them.
Oh,
with
okay.
the idea of getting a proposal to return to council in the future.
Oh, got it. Good. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
Okay, is there anything else?
I'd like to pull that adjournment. I don't think I have the right information. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mine's outdated. Thank
Okay.
you.
So I'd like to remind the community that due to the holidays, there will be no council meeting on the first Monday of January. And in observance of Martin Luther King Day, our next regular meeting will be held on Tuesday, January the 20th at 6:30. The meeting is now adjourned. It's 9:01.